Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the channel. So, after about a week and a bit of COVID, I was finally able to go to the cinema to go and see Thor: Love and Thunder. I've got some thoughts, so I guess let's get straight into it. I will say, first off, to the good things, it was really nice to see Natalie Portman and Kat Dennings back as Jane Foster and her sidekick. I cannot remember her name. Darcy. It was quite nice to see them back. It's been a while since they've been in anything. Darcy was in WandaVision, and I thought she was actually a really good part to that. But other than that, it's kind of been lacking. I did actually like the fight on the sort of the shadow world when it goes all into sort of black and white. From the trailers, I wasn't too sure if I was actually going to enjoy that, but the way that hints of color come in from Stormbreaker and from Mjolnir, it's actually done really well. It's very, very stylistic, and it actually reminded me a lot of Sin City, so I really kind of appreciated that, and I actually thought that worked quite well. On that note, though, I will, however, say that seeing this film in 4DX was one of the most excruciating experiences of my life. I've never seen a 4DX film where I've been thrown around that much, and it got to a point where I was feeling a little bit sick, and I actually just wanted to walk out because I couldn't concentrate on the film because you're literally being thrown about in the chair, and it's really off-putting. You can't concentrate, and through some of the fight scenes, I was just thinking, I really just don't want to be here. I really don't. I want to just walk out, and I want to go sit in 2D because I hated being thrown around that much. Now, the 4DX, I normally like that kind of aspect. It's relatively light on a lot of the things. It's noticeable. I do remember seeing Ant-Man and the bit where he's travelling on the flying ant, where they're going through the computers. That was actually really fun. They moved quite a bit then, but it really did feel like sort of emotion. Whereas in this, I every punch, every movement of the spaceship or anything like that, you're being thrust backwards, forwards, side to side. I was coming out of my chair partly because I'm with that much force, and it didn't make it as enjoyable as it should. I mean, don't get me wrong, the film's not great, and I don't think it was a particularly enjoyable film. I don't think I'd enjoy it that much in 2D or 3D for that matter, but 4DX made it just extra special, kind of difficult. So, what else did I like? Christian Bale was very good. I think we all know he's an incredible actor, so when he was on screen, when he was doing his thing, I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Other than that, I think there's very little to be positive about this film. The goats are incredibly annoying. It's played off as a joke to start with, and the joke goes on and on and on and on, and when you think it's going to stop, it goes on a couple more times. And this film really does hype up exactly what I hated about Ragnarok so much. Now, if you take Ragnarok as a film just in itself, completely separate from Marvel canon, nothing to do with any of the characters, I'd look at it and go, yeah, it was alright. Yeah, yeah. But because it's tied into the MCU, because it's tied into two previous Thor films, I despised the fact that Thor became a very kind of jovial, jokey kind of character, and by the end of it, he's turned more into like a Spider-Man Deadpool than Thor. Some of the best things about Thor is a what I would call a sort of the fish out of water. So, the first film, when he sat down in it looks more like a cafe than anything, with Jane, Darcy, and Dr. Selvig. He gets a beer, and once he's finished it, he just throws it on for another. that's the kind of thing that makes Thor funny. It's that kind of fish out of water. He doesn't know how to operate in society. And there was actually one element of that within this film, and I thought again that worked well. And it's a shame that Taika Waititi is. I might not like a lot of the things that he does, but as a action comedy director, writer director, he's fantastic. He's probably one of the best out there in terms of a writer director for a Thor film. Without no awful, terrible choice, shockingly bad, because Thor is not this kind of comedic character. Now, if Taika Waititi was able to write it in a way that Thor wasn't that comedy relief, and you had another character, I mean, Korg, I don't mind even having Korg as that kind of a character. That's fine, but don't try and sort of push that into Thor. So, it's a frustrating film in the fact that it's got some elements that are good, but they're very, very few and far between, and it overall really does hurt the film. The jokes, there's so many jokes, and they come really kind of thick and fast. And when you're dealing with the Jane Foster storyline, like, again, don't get me wrong, I wasn't a big fan of it in the comics, but when you're dealing with that, you know, she does have cancer. This is supposed to be a really kind of dramatic time within her life. You know, she's got to choose between being a hero and having the energy to fight against cancer. And the gravitas of that situation is never really kind of played off. They try and play it off, and it doesn't work as well because of it being just surrounded by jokes. And I think that really is to the detriment of the character of Thor and the films themselves. And I do have to say, I was kind of a little bit bored, even with the show up of Eternity. You know, Eternity is one that I think I've mostly seen in Doctor Strange comics, if I'm completely honest. But seeing Eternity was fun. You know, it was great to see the character, especially such a cosmic figure, something so grandiose within a Marvel film, and to his credit, Taika Waititi actually did him quite well. But again, it becomes a shame that everything within that film just seems to be brought down by the fact there's too many jokes. And like I said, it was one of those things that I didn't like about Ragnarok. It is there, by the way, Ragnarok. And I don't think I'll be buying this film. And for someone that has the majority of the MCU, especially the majority of them in a steelbook case, I think that actually says a lot about the film that I will not be purchasing it. I think that says more than my review could. It's a tough one. I want to be able to say, you know, go out, enjoy it and everything like that. If you do enjoy it, great, fantastic, you know, great for you. I really hope you do enjoy it even more. Hope you can get some enjoyment out of second issue, second seeing it and everything like that. But for me personally, it felt like a slog to get through. There's so many elements of it that just kind of grate on me, and one of them in particular is actually Jane Foster's sort of Mighty Thor. I really don't like the fact that she is called the Mighty Thor. Thor is the character's name. She can't just put on the suit, be worthy of the powers of Thor, and become Thor. That's not how that works. And I know Jason Aaron wrote it that way probably about 10 years or so ago now. But it doesn't work for anyone who likes the canon and has gone through that. You know, Beta Ray Bill, when he ends up lifting Mjolnir and then having Stormbreaker, he's not Thor. He's Beta Ray Bill. So it's a frustrating one, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't enjoy it. I really do hope that Chris Hemsworth gets another go at Thor, and if he is going to leave the character at some point, can go off on a high and have some better material, if I'm completely honest. But I really don't think Taika Waititi is the right person for Thor. Only time will tell. I know some of the box office figures haven't been great for Thor: Love and Thunder, but time will tell to see if he gets his trilogy. Anyway, guys, if you have seen Thor: Love and Thunder, please let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. It's always nice to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really, really does help me out. And I'll see you all in the next video.